What's next for Loma and Special K? We answer that next. Please like and subscribe. Help us hit 10,000 subscribers. Leave a comment for us below. Let us know what you think. Welcome to another episode of Sunday Morning Champion. A loaded week of boxing, a ton of things to get into. Hashtag free boo boo. We'll get into the boo boo Andrade situation. But let's start with a recap of the weekend's fights. The two big main cards. Vasil Lomachenko defended his straps, picked up another one against Jose Pedraza, and Kell Brook has won a shot at another belt. But should they both drop their straps and their rankings and move south of the division? Let's start with Loma. Lomachenko won the fight, dominated Jose Pedraza, and nearly stopped him in the last 2 rounds. Loma fought well, and Pedraza is a good fighter. Okay, I'm not knocking Pedraza, but let's keep this in mind. Tank Davis absolutely steamrolled this kid, destroyed him, stopped him, beat him in every way imaginable, outclassed him. Looked like Pedraza shouldn't even be in the ring with him. I thought Pedraza won rounds with Loma. I thought he was having moments with the left hand. With the left hand. He was switching up nicely. I thought he, from the conventional to the southpaw stance. I thought it was. I had it 8-4 in rounds. Obviously, Loma wider on points because of the 2 knockdowns. So going to the scorecards, I had it a little bit closer than most of the judges. I had it 116-110. My card was 8 rounds to 4 in favor of Loma. And then the 2 knockdowns made it 116-110. How about yours? Did you guys have this close? I mean, one of the judges had it 119-107, I think. I thought that was really wide. Pedraza only winning 1 round. Do you guys agree with me? Do you agree with the judge? Had 119. Had Loma winning 11 rounds, or did you have it more like me with him winning 8? Look, this is not the same dominant Loma we saw make everybody quit on their stool, right? That made Rigo quit. That made Walters and Jason Sosa quit. It's just not the same guy. Now, to be fair, Pedraza's levels ahead of those guys and bigger than those guys. He's good. He's great, right? He is. But he's not that special, unique fighter we saw Lomachenko fight, that he was when he was 126 and 130 pounds. There could be a few reasons for this. Maybe it's because he's not a 135-pounder, right? He looked noticeably smaller than Pedraza, who fought almost his entire career at 130, right? Pedraza is a natural 130-pounder. Linares was so much bigger than Loma was, right? Loma isn't a lightweight. He should go back down to 130 for a litany of reasons, right? I think, we'll get into it. First reason why Lomachenko should move back down to 130. Well, he's too small for 135. He isn't a lightweight. I mean, look at him. He's short-armed, right? It's not, it's bad enough that he's short. His arms are also short. So, that's a problem. You can see he was just, when Pedraza was, and look, Pedraza's a good fighter. He's not a great fighter, and he was able to control him at times with his jab. And look, Lomachenko, he's fighting a bigger guy. And Pedraza's a natural 130-pounder. And you can see the size difference with Linares. And Linares started at 126. So, I mean, these aren't massive guys either. When he goes down to if he goes down to 130, I should say, and he fought Burchell would be bigger than he is. Tank's bigger than he is. And those are 130-pounders. So, I mean, I give Lomachenko credit for going up. He went to 135 and fought 2 top 5 guys there. So kudos to him. But, look at it like this. Those should be one-offs, right? He's not a one. I said when he was at 130, he could be making 126. I don't know what he walks around at. I'm thinking, what does Lomachenko weigh a week from now, 2 weeks from now? 142, 143. I don't think him getting down to 126 would be a problem. Certainly him getting down to 130 would not be a problem. Him getting down to 130 is where he belongs. Again, you just look at the size difference when he fought Linares. They weren't even close to the same weight class. I know Linares went up to 140, and that's where Linares is going to be fighting at now. But yeah, Lomachenko is a tiny, tiny lightweight. It's time for him to get out of that weight class and go back down to a more natural weight class. Like, he went to lightweight and he fought top 5 guys, so it's not like he picked cherries and only tried to get a strap. He fought what was out there. If you can't get a fight with Mikey, what else is there for him, right? That brings me to my second point. Second reason why he should leave the 135-pound division. If you can't get Mikey, and Mikey is fighting at 47, the fights are at 130. All the fights you would want to see him have are at 130, not 135. You get rid of Mikey, you got Pedraza, who he beat. You got Linares, who he beat, who's now at 140. And then you have the Richard Comeys of the world, the Easters of the world, the Shafikovs of the world. It's like, okay, I mean, that doesn't do much for me. At 130, however, you have Tank, obviously. You have Miguel Berchelt, and they said, Bob Arum said that fight will likely happen more likely than not, happen in 2019. So that's a mega fight. That's a great fight. A fight Loma could lose. That is probably going to happen. That's a mega fight we're probably going to get in 2019. There's also Tevin Farmer. That would be a great fight. I would love that fight. A rematch with Gary Russell Jr., who said he'd be happy to go to 130 and fight him. There's Alberto Mercado. You got Shakur Stevenson coming up. And that's the fight Aaron wants to make that he probably thinks is about 2 years away. But so over the next 2 years, you're going to fight 4 or 5 times, take your mandatory and fight these guys at 130, right? You'll pick up he actually did vacate his belt at 130, but he'll pick up a belt at 130, fight, a litany of these names. You Tank Davis, your Miguel Berchelt, Tevin Farmers, Gary Russells, Alberto Mercados. You'll have a mandatory you'll have to take at that time, and 2 years from now, fight Shakur Stevenson. That's the fight he wants to make. Let's be real. 130 is where it's at. 135 outside of Mikey is empty of name. I'm not saying there's no good fighter. I think Conway's a good fighter, but I don't know how much appeal there is in that fight. Who would you rather watch him fight? Richard Comey or Miguel Berchelt or Tank Davis or Tevin Farmer or Gary Russell Jr., Alberto Mercado, Shakur Stevenson? Who would you guys rather see him fight? And again, Berchelt would be bigger than Loma, so it's not like Loma belongs at 130 tops. I really think he belongs at 126. But he's doing well. He's fighting the best. He's beating the best guys. So, I'm not knocking him for jumping up in weight class. At 135, reason letter C, why Lomachenko should go back down to 130. At 135, Mikey Garcia will beat you. He's too big and too strong and too skilled, right? You saw him struggle with Pedraza. Pedraza's not half the fighter. I'm not hating on Pedraza. Not half the fighter Mikey Garcia is. Right? If Pedraza hit him with plenty of shots, if Mikey hit him with those shots, you're not going to bounce back the same. Mikey is extremely heavy-handed. His timing is perfect. His timing is great. He can walk you down. He can do a lot of things. You're not going to have your way with Mikey as you did with Pedraza. Ask yourself this, right? Mikey steamrolled bigger men and dominated the 126 to 135 pound divisions. What would he have done to Pedraza? Ask yourself that, right? Like, if Mikey was in the ring with Pedraza, what would have Mikey done to him? Exactly. He would have killed him. Just saying. Leave your thoughts, comments. Those are the top 3 reasons why I think Lomachenko should go back down to 130. He would have no problem making the weight. That's where he naturally belongs. But let me know what y'all think. Leave your thoughts, comments below. Next topic I want to get into, the other major card of the week, the special one, Kell Brook, dominated. I had him a winner, 118-110 over Safara. Safara hung tough, but was ultimately outclassed. Brook dominated the fight with basic jab, right hand. The right hand didn't miss. He couldn't miss, especially early on. He was striking with pinpoint precision. However, Brook seemed to fade late. And he seemed lethargic late. Not saying he necessarily lost many of the rounds, but he was getting hit way too often and eating shots and just getting real flat-footed. Looked a little, I don't know if I want to say lazy, but fatigued and tired. Let me ask you this. Since he's fighting at 154, if he fades and fatigues with swift hurt, what's going to happen to him? If he fatigues and gets tired and lazy and come forward straight against Swift Hurd, what's going to happen? Swift's going to rip his head off. You know what Swift Hurd would do to Kell Brook? Look, if Zafar was hitting him with that many clean shots, what would you... do you understand what Hurd would do to you? Hurd beat up Araslan De Lara. Araslan De Lara is a much more skilled, much more defensively sound fighter than is Kell Brook. And I like Brook. I'm not knocking Brook. I think Brook's a really good fighter. But if he could beat Lara down like that, look what he would do to you. Look what he would do to Kell. So, look, I know he's going to get a shot at that strap now. I guess, yeah, he should go down to 47. He should not take the tall shot against Hurd because he would get his head beaten in, and then he should go down to 147 and test his luck there. Again, him taking his mandatory status and trying to get a fight with Hurd, and Hurd would love to take the fight. It would be a payday, and I don't want to call it an easy fight because I think Brook would have a level of success early because he's an excellent boxer, but Hurd would destroy him. He'd break him down, possibly kill him in the later rounds. He'd definitely get the stoppage, that's for sure. Right? Like, think about, who would you pick to win? No doubt Trout or the Special K at 154. You'd pick Trout. Look how Hurd broke Trout down. Trout's bigger than Brook is. He is. I mean, these 54-pounders are big. Hurd, Brook's a good puncher. At 47, he's got really heavy hands. And his power, I think he's a little underestimated. His power's got good snap. But it's not like Hurd. Hurd's way too big. You know what I'm saying? Just look at the size of the guys. Brook's not going to win that fight. Look, historically, Kell Brook looks like a 154-pounder. He does, right? He's a big 47-pounder. You compare him to guys like Terry Norsh, Shane Mosley, Fernando Vargas, the guys who dominated that division a generation ago. Brook fits in with those guys. He's about that size, right? Like, he's probably about the same size as Shane Mosley. But the guys, then those are the best guys ever at the weight class. However, this current crop of 154-pounders are huge. I mean, they're absolutely huge. Massive. These are the biggest 54-pounders I've ever seen, right? Hurd was the biggest 154-pounder I ever saw. Until I saw Jaime Munguia. Jaime Munguia is the biggest 54-pounder I ever saw. Jamel Charlo is huge for the weight class. He's a huge super welterweight, junior middleweight, whatever you want to call it. Even No Doubt Trout is noticeably bigger than Kell. Look, Trout is a big junior middleweight who could easily fight at 60. So all these guys are going to be bigger and stronger than him. One of Kell's big advantages was he was always the bigger guy. He could walk you down with that jab right hand. And he could break you down. Now, we said that wasn't the case with Spence. And it certainly wouldn't be the case at 54. So, look, first of all, none of the fights at 54 are good for him. The fights that are good for him at 47. So get your nutritionist, whatever you need to do, get on board, and get back down to 47. I think he could still do quite well at welterweight. I think he matches up nicely in a rematch with Porter, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, and again, a rematch, if he is in shape and better conditioned, a rematch with Spence would be interesting. Although I want to see him fight. I want to see him at 47 again. I want to see how he looks. Because, remember, he was outboxing Spence early in that fight. He was putting rounds in the bag, and Spence broke him down. So if he's better conditioned and he can carry the weight, he doesn't get fatigued, he could match up well in that fight with Spence. He really could. But I think he could, if he fought Porter again, and this is all contingent on him coming back to 47 and looking good. And I want to get into that. I want to throw some names around. I think he could beat Danny, for sure. Right? I think he could outbox Danny. I think he could walk Danny down. I think he could beat Porter. And I think he can beat Keith Thurman. And I'm saying that this is the version of Kell Brook circa 2015, 2016. Right? If he can get back to that level, and he's only 32, I think, so he's not old. He can get there, and he can get back to that level. He can beat these guys, and that's where the money. That's where the money is. That's where the big names are. Look, remember, he beat Porter. He beat Porter pretty soundly. So that's the type of, and I know outside of Porter, you guys are gonna, the names on his resume are Carson Jones and Love and Dow, and there's names like that. So most of them are B-level fighters, B-minus level fighters, and Sean Porter, Slashachenko. It's those type of names, the names that you would expect him to beat. Jennings, but he dominated those guys. He beat Porter. He was outboxing Spence early in that fight till he got broken down. This is a guy that can still make a lot of noise in that division. He can fight Khan and get that paycheck. Use that fight to reestablish himself at 147. Then, look, he has a stable of names, right? If you can't get the Khan fight, there's a stable of names that you should beat, right? Jesse Vargas, Brandon Rios, beat those guys up at 147. He can dominate both those guys and reestablish yourself out the weight class. Elevate yourself, right? Like Danny lost to Keith, then he knocked out Rios and everyone loved him again. So just go in there, fight Rios like Danny did, or fight Jesse Vargas, beat that guy and reestablish yourself. Those are a bunch of names I'd like to see him say fight next April. Get himself ready for an August, September, October date with one of those elite 47-pounders. I think Eddie will make the fight. If they can't make the fight with Khan, if Khan goes in with Crawford and gets dismantled by Crawford, which would most likely happen, and that fight is off, I think Brooks will reestablish himself at 47, pick up a big win in April, and then they get a summer or a fall date with one of the premier welterweights. I think it would work. Let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts, comments below. Last topic of the day I want to get into, a bit on a sad note, darker side, WBO middleweight champ, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. And unfortunately, with everything in front of him, might be in a bit of trouble, and it couldn't have come at a worse time. Like I said, he has everything in front of him. He's on the right side of the promotional pond for the middleweight division. He's staring at fights with Billy Joe Saunders wants that, and he wanted that fight with Billy Joe to kind of legitimize his WBO belt. Billy Joe had to was stripped of it when he failed the drug test. You have Jacobs, Canelo, Triple G. All of those fights would be looming possibilities. Big paydays and a shot to make it run. A shot to make a run at being the best fighter at perhaps the best division in boxing and my favorite division, the middleweight division. Now he's looking at jail time. I want to get into that later, but I want to start with how Boo Boo fits in. Look, he's a massively skilled and gifted athlete. Good snap on his punches, lightning reflexes, throws nice lead left hands. He's a tricky southpaw, excellent athlete, excellent defensive skills, hard to hit. He's trouble for anyone. His style just presents natural trouble for anyone in that division. I pick him to beat Canelo. I really do. I pick him to beat Triple G. Charlo and Jacob, I don't know. He isn't small for the size, and stylistically, he's a nightmare. But Charlo is really good, and Jacobs is a really high-end athlete. I'm not saying he couldn't win those fights. I just wouldn't definitely pick him to win. But if you put Andrade in the ring with G or Canelo, just because of his style, I'm going to pick Boo Boo. That's how highly I think of Boo Boo. And when I saw him at 160, he doesn't look small. But let's get into what he's in trouble for. He got caught with a gun in his car. First off, use this as a lesson to all the listeners, kids out there. Don't let the cops search your car. Not without a warrant. Don't answer any of their questions. Understand your rights. Look, if Boo Boo would have kept his mouth shut, he'd have gotten a traffic ticket and been on his way. But because he didn't exercise his rights, he's going to jail, it looks like. Remember, we have a 4th and 5th Amendment right here in America. Don't answer any questions. The cop wants to ask you questions, just tell him you don't answer any questions. If the cop wants to search your car, ask him for a warrant. If you don't have a warrant, I don't want you coming near my car. I don't want you looking in my car. What do you have to hide? Don't worry about it. It's none of your business. I don't want you searching in my car. You have no reason to. You have no suspicion to. You have, most importantly, you have no warrant. Remember this phrase, am I being detained or am I free to go? Use it, memorize it, repeat it. Am I being detained, am I free to go? And I don't consent to any searches. I don't consent to any searches. Look, if they have a reason to arrest you, they have to tell you. Okay? They can't detain you. They can't hold you without any reason. You're free to go. So am I being detained? Am I free to go? If I'm not being detained, I'd like to go. May I go? Can I search your car, sir? No, you may not. You may not search my car without a warrant. I do not consent to searches. Remember that. But he's going to jail for a victimless crime. Let's start the hashtag free boo boo. Let's get some free boo boo shirts made up. No victim, no crime. Hashtag free boo boo. This is a shame. He hurt no one. No one was affected. If I asked you to name the victim of his crime, you couldn't tell me any name. Despite that, though, gonna go to jail, right? Have to make more rules, to follow more stupid rules, have to put more people in jail, have to feed the prison industrial complex, put more innocent, non-violent, peaceful people in jail for reasons that we can't tell you. This is a shame. Boo-boo, they're saying, and I'm not a legal scholar, so don't listen to me. Looks like he's going to get at least a year. He's going to get some time in jail. It looked like he could get what Plaxico got. The laws in New York and Rhode Island, from what I'm being told, are similar, not the same. They're certainly similar. This is a shame. A guy with an excellent fighter with great natural gifts and talents, a really skilled fighter with everything ahead of him, now has to face this. Hopefully, he gets together, he gets a lawyer, and they figure something out here. But I'm disappointed as a fight fan because I like Boo Boo, and I'm disappointed because it's a victimless crime. No one got hurt. Now he has to go to jail for hurting no one. It's a shame. But let's hope that this all gets straightened out and all gets figured out, and we see Boo Boo back in the ring. Early in 2019. I'd love to see him fight any of those names: Billy Joe, Daniel Jacobs, Canelo, Triple G, even Jamal Charlo, and he's on the other side of the promotional pond. But any of those fights would be great. Let's see it. Hashtag free boo boo. But let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts, comments below. For Sunday Morning Champion, this is 3D Boxing signing off, saying thank you and God bless.
Enjoy 3D Boxing vlog videos? Show us some love by clicking the like button. Don't miss a tweet, post, story, or video. 3dboxingvlog.com is also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit the subscribe button now to stay inside the ring.